I remember the day like it was yesterday, even though it happened years ago. It was a beautiful summer day, and I decided to go for a hike in a remote area near my hometown. I had heard rumors of strange occurrences in the area, but I shrugged them off as just another urban legend. As I was walking, I noticed a strange figure in the distance. At first, I thought it was just another hiker, but as it got closer, I could see that something was wrong. It was moving erratically, and its limbs seemed to be disjointed. I tried to ignore it and continue on my hike, but my curiosity got the best of me, and I decided to investigate. As I approached the figure, I could smell the stench of decay. It was then that I realized I was in trouble. The figure turned around, and I saw that its eyes were glazed over, and its skin was gray and mottled. It was a zombie-like creature. I tried to run, but the creature was faster than I thought. It was on me in seconds, and I could feel its cold breath on my neck. I was sure that I was going to die, but then something strange happened. The creature stopped, and it seemed to be confused. I took this opportunity to escape, and I ran as fast as I could. I made it back to my car, and I drove straight to the police station. When I told them what had happened, they didn't believe me. They thought I was just making up a story, but I knew what I had seen. I never went back to that remote area again, and I always made sure to warn others of the danger. Looking back, I realize how lucky I was to escape with my life. I still have nightmares about that day, and I can't help but wonder what would have happened if I hadn't been able to get away. The thought of that zombie-like creature still haunts me to this day. I'm not sure if what I encountered was a zombie or something else entirely, but it was definitely not human. It was the summer of 2019, and I was camping alone in a remote area of the forest. I had always enjoyed spending time in the great outdoors, but this particular trip was different from any other. It was a warm, humid night, and I was sitting by the fire, enjoying the peace and quiet. Suddenly, I heard something moving in the bushes nearby. I thought it might be a bear, so I grabbed my flashlight and went to investigate. As I got closer, I saw a figure emerge from the bushes. At first, I thought it was a person, but as it got closer, I realized that it was not. It was moving in a jerky, unnatural way, and its skin was pale and gray. Its eyes were vacant and lifeless, and its mouth was open, revealing sharp teeth. I froze, unsure of what to do. The creature let out a low, guttural growl, and started moving towards me. I backed away slowly, my heart pounding in my chest. I could feel the adrenaline coursing through my veins, and I knew that I needed to act fast if I wanted to survive. I reached for my knife, but it was too late. The creature was upon me, its hands reaching out to grab me. I kicked and screamed, but it was no use. The creature was too strong, and I felt its cold, clammy hands wrap around my neck. I thought I was going to die. But then, something strange happened. The creature let out a howl of pain and recoiled, as if it had been burned. I took advantage of the moment and ran back to my campsite as fast as I could. Once I got back to my tent, I grabbed my phone and called for help. It took a while for the authorities to arrive, but when they did, they found the creature still writhing on the ground, its skin smoking and blistered. I never found out what the creature was or where it came from. But one thing is for sure, I will never forget that night in the forest, and I will never go camping alone again. I've always been drawn to remote areas. There's something about the silence and isolation that's so calming to me. So when I found myself with a few days off work and a craving for some peace and quiet, I headed out to a secluded cabin in the woods. The cabin was small and rustic, but it had everything I needed. A fireplace, a comfy bed, and a small kitchen. I spent my days hiking through the forest, fishing in the nearby lake, and reading by the fire at night. It was perfect. On my third day there, I decided to take a different hiking trail. It was supposed to lead to a lookout point with a stunning view of the valley below. The trail was steep and rocky, and I was so focused on my footing that I didn't notice the smell at first. It was a sickly sweet odor that made my stomach turn. As I climbed higher, the smell grew stronger. And then, I saw it. A figure standing at the top of the trail, blocking my path. It was tall and thin, with gray skin stretched tightly over its bones. Its eyes were sunken and glazed over, and it was covered in filth and tattered clothing. I froze, unsure of what to do. The creature took a step towards me, and I could see its fingers were long and claw-like. I turned to run, but my foot slipped on a loose rock and I tumbled down the trail. I hit my head hard and everything went black. When I woke up, it was dark. I was disoriented and confused. I tried to stand, but my head was pounding and my leg was throbbing with pain. I heard a rustling in the bushes and then saw the creature emerge from the darkness. It started towards me, and I knew I was done for. But then, something strange happened. The creature stopped, cocked its head to the side, and then turned and walked away. I don't know what happened that night, but I'm grateful to be alive. I hobbled back to the cabin and spent the next few days recovering. I never did find out what that creature was, but I know one thing for sure: I'll never venture out into the wilderness alone again. I was on a hiking trip in the middle of nowhere, just me and my dog. We were enjoying the peace and quiet of the wilderness when we stumbled upon something truly horrifying. As we were walking, I noticed movement out of the corner of my eye. I turned to see what it was, and that's when I saw it. It was a creature that looked like a zombie. Its skin was gray and decaying, its eyes were cloudy and lifeless, and its movements were jerky and unnatural. My first instinct was to run, but I knew I couldn't outrun it. I tried to back away slowly, hoping it wouldn't notice me, but it started to move towards me, its arms outstretched and its mouth open in a grotesque snarl. My dog, sensing the danger, started barking and growling, and that seemed to distract the creature long enough for me to think. I realized that the only way to survive was to fight back. I grabbed a branch from the ground, and I swung it at the creature with all my might. To my surprise, the creature stumbled back, and I took that opportunity to run as fast as I could. I knew I had to find help quickly because I didn't know how long I could outrun the creature. Luckily, I stumbled upon a ranger station not too far away, and I was able to get help. The ranger listened to my story, and he seemed just as horrified as I was. He took me and my dog to safety and called for backup. Later, we found out that the creature was actually a person who had been infected with some sort of virus that caused their body to decay and their mind to go insane. The ranger told me that it was extremely rare but not unheard of in these remote areas. I still shudder at the memory of that encounter. It was like something out of a nightmare, but I'm grateful that I was able to survive and live to tell the tale. I never believed in the supernatural until that night. It was a chilly autumn evening, and I decided to take a hike in a remote area to clear my head. The path was surrounded by dense woods, and the only sound I could hear was the crunching of leaves under my boots. As I walked, I noticed something moving ahead of me. At first, I thought it was a deer, but as I got closer, I realized it was not an animal. It was a human-like figure, but its skin was gray, and it had sunken eyes that seemed to glow in the darkness. I froze in fear, trying to make sense of what I was seeing. As I stood there, the creature slowly turned towards me, and I could see that it was missing a chunk of flesh from its face. It let out a guttural growl, and I realized I was in serious danger. I turned around and ran as fast as I could, not daring to look back. I could hear the creature's footsteps behind me, and I knew it was gaining on me. I could feel its hot breath on my neck, and I knew I had to act fast. I stumbled upon a fallen tree, and without thinking, I climbed it. The creature snarled from below, and I could see it reaching up towards me. I was paralyzed with fear, not knowing what to do next. I don't know how long I sat there, but eventually, the creature wandered away. When I finally climbed down from the tree, I realized how lucky I was to be alive. I knew I had to tell someone what I had seen. The police were skeptical of my story, but they eventually sent a search party to investigate. They found nothing, but I knew what I had seen. It was not human, and it was not natural. From that day on, I avoided going into the woods alone, always making sure I had someone with me. I never forgot that night, and the fear it instilled in me. I still don't know what that creature was, but I know one thing for sure, I never want to encounter it again.